When you sever ties with the main utility grid, you inherit total responsibility for your own survival. A sudden drop in temperature or a week of heavy cloud cover quickly exposes the limitations of a system designed for a static environment. To prevent that failure, we are setting a strict engineering mandate. We will design a 24-volt solar architecture that delivers exactly 5,000 watt-hours, or 5 kilowatt-hours, of usable energy every single day. This structural diagram shows the standard formula beginners rely on to calculate their capacity. You take the daily energy requirement of 5,000 watt-hours, divide it by the 24-volt system voltage, and arrive at a required battery capacity of 208 amp-hours. This 208 amp-hour figure represents a system operating at 100% efficiency. In practice, this number is a baseline that we must now adjust for the physical realities of battery chemistry and environmental resistance. Minimum calculator math assumes the hardware operates with zero loss and the batteries can be drained to zero. It ignores physical hardware limitations, thermal derating, and the extreme DC current loads that real appliances demand. To build a system that actually powers a home, we have to move past these theoretical assumptions and architect the network from the ground up using applied engineering parameters. Reliable off-grid design centers on identifying and calculating the specific physical margins required to maintain power as environmental conditions degrade. We start with the first physical building block of our architecture, the battery bank. If we recall the nominal requirement of 208 amp-hours, we immediately run into a chemical limitation. Extracting 100% of a battery's stored capacity irreversibly destroys its internal structure. This is known as depth of discharge. Traditional lead-acid batteries have a strict 50% usable limit. To yield 208 usable amp-hours, the actual physical bank must expand past 400 total amp-hours to avoid damaging the cells. Lithium iron phosphate, or LiFePO4 chemistry, is much more resilient. It safely allows for an 80% depth of discharge, meaning the total required capacity only expands to roughly 260 amp-hours to deliver the exact same daily energy. In off-grid engineering, we round up to establish an operational buffer. Rounding down to save physical space or budget leads to voltage sag when the system is under heavy load. Therefore, the practical minimum requirement for our daily target locks in at a 24-volt, 280 amp-hour lithium battery bank. Sizing based strictly on usable capacity ensures the system avoids the rapid cell degradation and low-voltage shutdowns that occur when batteries are pushed to their chemical limits. Next, we have to engineer the generation side of the architecture to keep that battery charged. Solar panels rarely achieve their nameplate ratings in the field. A panel rated for 400 watts in a laboratory will almost never produce 400 watts on a real roof. Environmental variables immediately impact solar output. Extreme surface heat increases internal resistance, while microscopic dust and pollen create localized shading across the cells. When you combine that physical blockage with inevitable wire resistance and charge controller conversion loss, a realistic off-grid system operates at an aggregate efficiency of about 80%. Dividing that gross energy requirement by 5 hours yields a strict mathematical array size of 1,250 watts. However, an array sized to exactly 1,250 watts leaves no margin for a string of heavily overcast days or the restricted daylight hours of deep winter. Expanding the final array dimension to 1,600 watts establishes the margin needed to maintain that 5 kilowatt-hour generation mandate through the shortest days of winter. Actual power generation is dictated by environmental variables. Oversizing the array ensures the system meets its energy mandate when the environment is no longer providing ideal sunlight. With the generation and storage nodes defined, we have to examine the critical transmission pathway bridging them together. We need to calculate the maximum continuous charging current that will be forced through this specific junction when the sun is directly overhead. Applying Watt's law to the generation side, we divide the 1,600-watt array output by the 24-volt system voltage. That gives us a peak continuous current of 66.7 amps. This math immediately reveals that a standard, budget-friendly 60-amp charge controller is inadequate for this architecture. Forcing an undersized controller to run past its maximum rated current limit for hours at a time leads to severe thermal throttling, clipped power production, and eventual hardware failure. To manage efficiency at this energy scale, a maximum power point tracking, or MPPT, charge controller is a non-negotiable requirement. We specify an 80-amp MPPT controller to safely process that 66-amp peak yield while maintaining a comfortable thermal margin. An electrical system is only as capable as its narrowest bottleneck. Failing to properly size the transmission controller renders the array and the battery bank ineffective. We move to the final output stage, the inverter responsible for translating direct current from the battery into usable alternating current for household loads. Here we encounter a significant hazard in 24-volt systems. Utilizing a relatively low voltage dictates a massive continuous DC current to achieve high AC power output. If you run a standard 2,000-watt appliance off this battery bank, the load pulls roughly 83 amps of continuous DC current. For perspective, standard automotive wiring typically handles 10 to 20 amps. 83 amps of sustained load requires thick, industrial-grade copper and heavily compressed lugs to flow safely. When that volume of current flows through undersized cables or improperly crimped, high-resistance connections, physical deterioration happens rapidly. It triggers a cycle of thermal runaway. Heat creates electrical resistance, and that resistance generates even more heat until the insulation fails. This split-screen comparison shows why direct current is so volatile. Unlike alternating current, which naturally extinguishes itself every time the wave crosses the zero line, a DC arc sustains itself as a continuous, unbroken plasma band. The immense short-circuit energy potential of a lithium battery bank means you must use specialized, high-interrupt capacity DC fuses to forcefully break that sustained arc. Standard AC breakers can weld closed in these conditions, and the rule for placement is strict. Thermal disconnects and fuses must sit immediately adjacent to the battery's positive terminal. In low-voltage, high-wattage architectures, electrical safety is entirely a function of thermal management and ruthless current control. Pulling back, we can review the complete engineered architecture required to reliably deliver our initial 5,000 watt-hour parameter. Compared to the naive back-of-the-napkin math we started with, the final calculated components appear significantly larger, but invisible, relentless forces impact off-grid performance over time. Internal battery components age, metal connections slowly oxidize, and ambient temperatures fluctuate wildly. A system built precisely to exact minimum math is highly likely to fail as real-world entropy sets in. Theoretical calculator numbers do not account for these variables. Applied engineering relies on heavy buffers to absorb the shock of an unpredictable environment. Reliable solar power depends on integrating precise, calculated buffers that allow the system to perform even when conditions are far from ideal.